Alright folks, well, I tell you what, today's puzzle is a hard puzzle. There it is. It's a hard puzzle. And I failed, folks. I tried this one here just a moment ago. Got about 20 minutes into it. Thought I was doing alright, getting kind of close towards the end. And I got two numbers in the same spot. Twos. I could not resolve it. I messed up. So, I had to hit the good old revert button, and we're going to try it again. Woo. This one was a little tricky. So now that I got the first one out of the way, let's go at it again. So I do like some of the patterns here. I like this row and this row and this row. In fact, here in the center cube, there's a 7 that goes across the top, 7 that goes across the bottom. So it helps us out pretty good with this 7 immediately. I think there was a couple more like that. Let's see what else I can see real quick. Just looking for some pairs. Like here's a pair, a set of 1s that come across, so we know that there's a 1 up here. Let's see what else that I saw. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, which is okay, which is all right. Let's see here. I feel a little defeated, so I'm a little bit slow on my solutions here. So all right, so I see 2 3s here, 3 across the top, 3 through the center. So I know I gotta have to have a 3 there. Let's see what else we have. With hard puzzles, we have to be using a lot of pencil marks. We have to be careful with our pencil marks. Got to keep them clean. Got to keep them up to date, and erase them and clean them up to help us keep the solutions tidy. So let's do something here. I'm going to go ahead and start at the top left. We don't have a whole lot of numbers, but I'm going to go ahead and write down all the numbers. It's kind of funny. I always say not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, just for giggles. Here's my 1, here's my 2, here's my 3, here's my 4. Now, 5s in this puzzle, there's only 1 of them, and they're so far in this corner, it's not going to help me much anywhere. So 5s get to go everywhere that they want. All right, there's my 6. So I have a 7 in the center and a 7 through the bottom. So we have a 7 that goes here. We have an 8, and then we need a 9, and a 9 goes right through the middle, and it says it has to be here or here. All right, now I'm going to try to be careful with these as I go along, because I have a 9 here. It's called a ghost row or a ghost column. Because one of these two has to be a 9, these two can't be a 9, because that whole column is covered by these 2 cells. So no 9 in the left, no 9 in the center because of this guy, no 9 on top. So I'm going to jot these 2 9s down just so I don't forget about that ghost row. The other one, I have a ghost row of 7s right there, 7s. So 7s also come down, 7s come down. So I know I have to have a 7 here somewhere. And I think those are the 2 ghost rows here. Okay, I do have a ghost row of 1s to the right, but I already have a 1 and a 1 already resolved. Okay, so let's just take a gander at the second cube. I've got a 1. 2 here goes through the middle, so 2 can be here, here, or here. We've got 3 identified. 4 can't be across the bottom or in the right. 4s, there we go. Now 5 can be everywhere. That 5 is just running rampant. 6, 7, and then we need an 8. Now we have an 8 in the right and an 8 across the top, so the 8 has to be here or here. Right? Right? I think so. I think that's right. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any ghost rows created off of that? We do have a set of 3s here. So over here, we can't have a 3 on the top because of this one. We cannot have a 3 in the middle because of that ghost row. So we know our 3 has to come into here. So we've got a 1, no 2 through the middle, no 2 through the left. So a 2 could go here, here, or here. Oh, what happened? It jumped over to my YouTube somehow. Okay. There we go. So there's our 2. Now we need a 3's already marked. We need a 4. Now here's kind of a cool thing. We have a 4 here, which tells me that 4 has to be in one of these right lanes. So I actually have a ghost column. This 4 says it can't be in the middle. These 2 say it can't be in the right. This one says it can't be in the bottom. So our 4 has to be in one of these 2. Okay, we do have a 5 finally in this left column. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 is going to be one of those guys. We have a 6 here in the left column, a 6 in the bottom, and a 6 in the top. So we have a 6 here or here. Right, we have a 7 across the bottom and a 7 through the middle. So 7 can go. Oh, and we also have a 7 that goes down the right side because of this particular pattern. So we have a 7 in the right, 7 through the center, 7 through the bottom. So 7 has to be one of these 2. And folks, what that does for us is see these 4s and 7s? That creates a double lock. These 2 particular cells cannot be anything else other than a 4 or a 7, because 4 and a 7 block the bottom row, 4 and a 7 block the middle, and 4 and a 7 block the right. So these 2 are now double locked. Cannot be anything else. I love double locks. They are a logic solution that will help you, even though I don't know which one is 4 and which one is 7, helps me with the column, helps me with the cube. It cannot be anything else. Okay, we do need an 8, so no 8 across the top and no 8 through the center. So we can have an 8 here, here, or here. Okay, we need a 9, and we cannot have a 9 through the middle. Boop, but it can be everywhere else. So let's do a 9 here, 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 and here. Now remember, it can't be here because these 2 are double locked. Okay, so this one, when we resolve that one, we'll get a lot of solutions. All right, so now we're going to go here to this particular cube. We have a 1 that goes through the middle. I almost want to, you know what, let's go down here. Let's get these bottom 3 and then we'll come back up and get the middles because this one's got some potential here to it. We've got a 1, we've got a 2, we need a 3. Well, a 3 goes through the middle here and it creates a ghost row. Now this ghost row, I need to come up here and clean up my 3s. I can't have a 3 there anymore. 3 is now in one of these 2 spots. Okay, now I just saw something with the 3. Okay, so I just saw like 2 or 3 solutions with the 3s. I have a left 3 and a center 3. So that one cannot be a 3, and I have a 3 across the top. So this is actually the only one that could be a 3. All right. Now, when I'm looking vertically, this can't be a 3. This can't be a 3. This can't be a 3. And this can't be a 3. So out of the eliminations, this is actually the only spot left that can actually be a 3. Okay, so now I'm going to clean up my 3s, get that out of there. Okay. All right. Just double checking my numbers there, make sure I didn't solve everything with that, which I did not, which is okay. So I've got a 3, 4, and a 7 out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the only number left that can go here is a 9. So that actually takes my 9 out here, folks. And if we look across the top row, no 9, no 9. Because it's locked with a 4 and a 7. No 9 here because there's a 9. So this is actually the only number left that could be a 9. Now that makes this one a 5, makes this one a 1, and we already have our 1 and 5, so that makes it a 7. So we're starting to do a couple different cascading solutions here. This 7 helps us out with this double lock 4 and 7. I'm going to clean up my pencil marks here a little bit, get rid of this 4 because of this 4. Now there's only one spot left that could be a 4. which is this one. Okay, now I'm just kind of cleaning up. Here's a 5 here, so I can't, and I have a 5 here. All right, can't have a 5 here. I'm cleaning up my pencil marks. 2 and a 5 and a 2 and a 5. Those normally lock out just like that, folks. Now I'm looking here at this 5 and a 6. Well, I can't have a 6 here, and I can't have a 6 here. So the only spot left for a 6 is right here. So I have a 2 and a 5 missing here, and so the 2 and a 5 is missing here. Let me clean up my 6. 5 and an 8, 5 and an 8. See how those match up? 2 and a 5, 2 and a 5. Okay, and a 2, an 8, and a 9. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're kind of just slowly going through here. We have a 1 across the top, a 1 down the left. So the 1 has to be either here or here. We have a 2 across the top. So we have lots of choices for our 2. We have a 3, we have 4, 5 across the bottom. So we have some choices here for our 5. We have a 6 across the bottom and a 6 through the middle, which tells me this is the only spot left that a 6 can go. All right, so that's good. We need a 7, which we have a 7 in the center and a 7 down the right. So the 7 has to go in one of these two places here, and then an 8 and a 9. Okay, so that one is fully marked out. So now let's move over here to the left one. I have a 5 across the bottom. I have a ghost row 5 through the middle, and I have a 5 down the left. So one of these two has to be a 5. Okay, I was just doing that one because I noticed the 5, the ghost rows. So if I'm looking for a 1, 1 can't be across the top, and a 1 can't be through the center. Let me check on the 7 and 9, though. One of these two has to be a 9 no matter... Oh, hey, look at that. We got a 9, and a 9. So that leaves us down here with just a 9. Then let me clean up my pencil marks. There we go. So we have a 1 through the center, a 1 through the top. Now that gives us a 1 through the middle. Now we're going to call, that's a ghost row that comes back and says this can't be a 1. No 1 here, no 1 here, no 1 here because of this one. This is the only spot left for a 1, folks. There we go. All right, so we have a 1, 2, we got a 2, 3, and a 7 that are left. Now we do have a 7 here, so I bet you this is going to be a 2 or a 3. But let's take it one piece at a time here. We've got our 1 identified. Now we have a 2 that comes across the top and a 2 down the right. So we have a 2, 2, 2 goes there. We have a 3 that comes through the middle and a 3 that comes down the right. So we have 3, 3, 3. We have a 4 that comes across the bottom and a 4 that comes down the right. So we can do 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, we already have our 5 identified. We have our 6. We have our 7 identified. We need an 8. So we have an 8 that comes down the middle, an 8 across the top, and an 8 across the bottom. Now these 8s, because all my pencil marks are there, it's hard to see, but these 1s and 8s are double locked. See how there's a 1 and an 8, a 1 and an 8, and a 1 and an 8. So these two cells can only be a 1 and an 8. They cannot be anything else because of the limitations of what else are around them. So those have to be a 1 and an 8. Okay. All right, so that fully marks up this cube. I was just looking to see, yep, remember one of these two was our 7? Well, now that this is a 1 and an 8 only, that marks up that 7. Let me clean up my pencil marks. It looks like this is the only one that could be a 5 now because we just resolved that. Okay. So we have a 2, 3, and a 4 are our choices left in these little quandaries, which is good. Okay, and this 3 and 4 and this 3 and 4 match up. All right. Okay, so I haven't found that mess up just yet, which is good, but I haven't messed it up a second time. So let's move on to these center cubes, shall we? We have a 1 through the center and a 1 through the middle. So we can actually still have a 1 all the way around. Now I'm going to look in the center cube at the same time. I have a 1 in the center and the left. So one of these two can be a 1. Okay, so now we need a 2. Now we have a 2 here and we have a ghost row 2 here. So the 2 can be any one of those ones. And I don't have any help for the 2 in the center. They can be anywhere. I'm just going to hold off on that for just a moment. All right, I need a 3, which no 3 down the right, no 3 down the middle. So the 3 has to be one of these two. Now, okay, these two create a ghost row. If one of these two, see, I can't have a 3 here or here because of this one. I can't have a 3 here or here because of this one. So if one of these two is a 3, this can no longer be a 3. It can't be a 3 because one of these two is going to be a 3. So if that's a 4, there's our 2, there's our 3. If this is a 4, there's our 3. If that's a 3, that's a 7. If that's a 7, that's our 4. If that's a 7, there's our 2. If that's a 2, there's our 5. If we have a 2 and a 5, the only number left there is a 7. Okay. All right. Now, if we look at this particular column, we're just missing one number. What are we missing? 1, 2, 3, a 4? Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that is purty, folks. Now we do have a 4 across the top. We have a 4 through the center, a 4 through the right. Only one spot left for the 4, and that is the 4 for all of the puzzles. Okay, now we did put down some numbers here. This 5 does help us out with this 5. It makes that a 2. Now this 2 makes this an 8, which makes this a 5. This 2 now makes this one a 5. That 5 now leaves us with an 8. This 8 now leaves us with a 9. And we have an 8 and a 9, so this leaves us with a 2. Now this is where I messed up last time. I've got a 2 through the left. I got a 2 through the right. So that means this one has to be my 2. Now somehow I had put this as a 2. See, I messed myself up by not having good pencil marks. So I have two numbers that I'm missing in this particular row, which is a 5 and an 8. And I have a 5 and I have an 8. So I'm going to get rid of this 2. That now becomes our 8. That now becomes our 5. And I know it's frustrating if you ever get to the point where you don't know which numbers are messed up. Sometimes you feel like you just want to quit and throw it up and just not even start again. But sometimes, I feel like the puzzle beat me, and so I got to take a breath, come back at it, and we'll get to the puzzle. So take your time. If you don't get too overwhelmed. The idea is that you better yourself and you take care of the different ways to think. That's one of the things I enjoy about the game itself, is it helps to improve your cognitive abilities, your problem solving skills. So this 9 here is on the left, 9 across the bottom. So this is the only spot left for a 9. That looks like all of our 9s for the game. Okay, and we put this 8 in, so that helps us with these two down here. Now this one, like I said, we need to keep our pencil marks clean. Gets rid of these ones. And now see, that's just nice and clean, a 2 and a 3. And then the other number we're missing here is a 5, so we can put that in there, a 1 and a 5. See how clean that is? Nice and neat. Okay, so now let's look here. We've got a 1 here. Let's see, we've got a 2 left. We have a 2 to the right. So we know that the 2 has to be here in the center. You know what? We just have one number here. What are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put that 8 in there. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We just got one number missing here vertically. See, this is kind of the cool thing is if you look at this horizontally, it's missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's so hard. How are you going to find out all the 6? Well, if you look vertically, you just got one number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aha, take that, puzzle. We're going to get you. So we have a 1, 2, it looks like we need a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a 3 and an 8. Now we have an 8 right there. So that makes this one our 3, makes that one our 8. Now this 3 comes on back over here and says, okay, well that's not a 3 anymore, that's a 2. There's our 3. We have a 2 here, so now this 2 helps us out here. And I'll clean up my pencil mark. I have one number missing in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like a 5. Now this 5 is going to come back here and say that now has to be a 1, that now has to be a 5. This 1 comes across, and there's our 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there you have it, folks. I did about a half an hour, and I messed myself up, and all I did was I had put the 2 here, and when I put this 2 here, I could not find my mess up, and so I started over again. And that's the way it is sometimes with life. So we started over and had a little bit of a good head start. The somebody once said that when you start over, you never actually start over because you always start with more wisdom than what you started off with. So I started off with more wisdom to know to keep an eye on that 2. And I found my mistake and I got it fixed the second go around. So even if you start over, folks, you're never really starting over. You're starting off wiser than you were before, so you don't have to make the same mistakes again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always recommend pausing it, printing you off a couple copies, play along with. Folks, I always welcome your suggestions, comments, and challenges. I do appreciate those, and thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.